Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in. I like to say thank you guys for catching me joining another interesting interview with another interesting person. I have a young gentleman here by the name of Creamytreatz, and I want to get
Yes,
to know him. He's been watching my channel for quite some time. And Mr. Treats, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's a wonderful day.
Wonderful. Nice. So, how did you come up with your name?
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of people being like, "Wow, that's an interesting name." It's actually from a Daniel Tosh uh, stand up. I think it was a stand up, but long story in the joke, because he does kind of like a running storytelling joke. Um, he gets in a fight with his roommate about ice cream, and he says, "Are we really fighting about creamy treats?" And I saw that like 7 or 8 years ago, and I was like, "Creamy treats! What a way to say ice cream!" I mean, and I just fell in love with it.
Oh, I actually like it. It's a cool name now that I know that there's more to it than someone just coming up with two random words, clapping them together and rolling with it. Now, I know you don't stream, but do
Mhm.
you play games? Are you a gamer? Right. Okay. Yeah, tell me more about that. Interesting. That's been one of your favorite games that you do play? And what drew you into that game? Uh-huh. Mhm. Absolutely. Interesting. Now, besides that game that you play, Mr. Treats, um, what other? Oh, he's not here. Oh my.
Yeah. See, look, man. This is what I
Oh,
was. You can hear me. We're back.
yeah, we're back.
See, this is what I tried to warn you about. Every now and then, Wi-Fi just takes a shit on
Yeah,
itself.
that's not good, bro. I don't think we can do this. I thought maybe a
No,
little.
no, 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 no. We're gonna
I
do
I
this.
thought maybe it'd be a little freezy freeze, but if it's gonna do that for the whole hour, that's not a good deal.
No, it's not gonna do it for the whole hour. I mean, it's pretty rare that it happens. Of course, it's gonna happen right out the fucking gate for me.
All right,
But
we'll roll with it. All right. So,
I'll fight tooth and nail.
oh,
Anyway,
okay, fine. All right. Well, we're gonna backtrack. The question is, are you a gamer?
yes, I am a gamer, born a gamer. Started gaming when I was like 5 or 6.
First
You
game
know,
you played?
uh, first, actually, I'd say probably pinball on Windows XP.
Okay. May I
Yeah.
ask how old you are, if you don't mind me asking?
Not a problem at all. I'm 29 years old.
Oh
I
my,
don't
he's a
look it.
baby.
I don't look it. I know I probably look like I'm 20, but
Yeah, you look way younger than almost pushing 30. You're almost over the hill by most generations.
yeah,
So
I
you
got
said,
4 months.
okay, well, happy birthday before it happens, and that's awesome. You'll be 30. Ooh,
I
you getting
guess.
old. You're getting old.
I guess.
Um, so you played the Windows pinball, which by the way was a fire game. Was a fire
Mhm.
game.
Mhm.
Let's talk about consoles. Do you remember your first console?
Okay, so the first console that I owned, was given to me as a kid, was the Nintendo 64. However, the first console I played on was the Super Nintendo at my grandparents' house.
Okay, what games did you play at the grandparents' house?
I mean, it's been so long; it's hard to remember. I One of the games that of course, Super Mario. A couple of the Super Mario early games, probably 2 and 3. Um, but I also remember playing Beavis and Butthead on the Super Nintendo.
I
Yeah,
remember that game. So, what games do you play now as an adult?
As an adult, oh god, I'm probably gonna get the flame for it. It's fine. League of Legends is my heroin addiction.
So, what is it about League of Legends that draws you in?
Well, I've been playing the game for like what 12 years now, and a lot of my friends, really close friends that I've had for a really long time, all play that game. And so it's kind of like the way we still stay together. And I don't know, I play it more casually now, but it's just something that it's I've spent so much time into it. I've delved so deep into like the lore and everything, and I don't know. It's just it's something special I hold.
Do you feel for this particular game? We'll focus on this game since it holds a special place for you because let's see, we have longevity, so you've been playing it for a long time. You have camaraderie and a group that you belong to, so it keeps you guys together like a nice family. Do you
Mm.
think the game could have a little more, or do you think it's perfect the way that it is?
Oh no, the game is not perfect at all the way it is. I mean, really, I'd say ever since 6 years ago when they sold it to a Chinese company, uh, it's just all it's a cash grab at this point. They want people to buy the skins and stuff like that. So the game's content hasn't really changed a whole lot, and of course it's been more focused on the professional scene rather than you know like us casual gamers, the people that actually keep the game going. But uh, there's so much things they could do, and they try to do, but then they just take it out, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Now, outside of League of Legends, what's your guilty pleasure of a game you enjoy playing that no one knows that you play?
A guilty pleasure game?
Yeah, like a game, I just vibe with it. I don't need no one to know I play it, and it's just my time. Like it's your time to play something.
I don't really play solo games, to be honest. Almost all of them are multiplayer games that I play with buddies when we're not playing League. Like the one right now I'm hooked on is Raft. I
Okay.
don't know if you, uh, but yeah. So it's yeah. I'm pretty die hard on that one game. It's
Oh
kind of
shoot.
sad. It's kind of really sad.
So, have you tried other games that get relatively close to that? Since you like doing co-op games, multiplayer games, team games, is there any other games that you play that give you that same sense of feeling League of Legends gives you? But I mean, that will always be top tier. Is there anything right below that?
Well, I mean, like back in the day growing up, I was big into consoles. So like, any Mario title, I'm a huge Mario fan. Uh, I've kind of strayed away from Nintendo. I had Xbox at a time, PlayStation. I've pretty much tried them all. I was big into Call of Duty, Halo, things like that. But I mean, I'd say since the last 6 years, it's just been kind of League of Legends and then whatever other titles you can come up with.
Why don't you stream?
I've never really thought about it. I think I don't think that I can't. I've just never had the drive to or the desire to.
Not at all, huh? I think you should. Think you should. I mean, for a game that you've been playing for 12 years, you
Hmm.
pretty much know that game in and out.
Hmm.
I think that would be a really great thing to see you do.
Well, here's the thing that when it comes to League, because League, I think, I mean, we can look it up right now on Twitch. The If you go to browse, League of Legends is the fourth, what is that, fifth most streamed game right now.
Right.
Um,
What's that mean?
so it's super diluted.
Well, hold on now. You got friends that you can always play with.
Mhm.
right? So you at least have content and you'd be able to play. And since you know how to play, you never know, right? You never know someone's going to challenge you and get down with you on that.
Mhm.
I mean, it sounds to me like you just don't want to because you don't want to, and that's fine. Fine, I'm going to unfollow you and not even worry about it since you don't want to go live. I would love to see you go live.
I mean, now that I got a cam, a lot of my friends are like, "Oh, so you're gonna stream now?"
Oh.
And that's literally just today. And I was like, I mean, I don't know, maybe.
No,
Who
there
knows?
shouldn't be a maybe. I think you should do it. What do you have to lose? Hold on. What do you have to lose by going
Nothing.
live?
There's literally nothing. You're right.
Right? You're trying different things, right? I've just learned earlier before we hit record, you're getting in the watches. You're getting away from certain alcoholic beverages and you're drinking craft beer. So what's holding you back? Matter of fact, like just the fact that your friends were like, you're gonna stream should have been enough motivation for you to honestly do it. That right there should have automatically been like, yeah, let's do it, guys. Let's go.
Well, I mean, like way back in the day, we always came up with the idea of coming up with like a friend kind of like live stream because we had game nights where we'd play all these different board games. And when we're together, I mean, it's a great time. We're pretty funny, and I think that would get a lot of views. But life happens. Think people grow apart, and there's not always the time anymore. So that kind of died off. But
Or some of the
yeah,
board games you guys played.
oh, dude, you can name any board game. We've probably played it.
Oh, so just gaming in general has been your life.
A very large portion of my life.
So what draws you into playing games? What is it about it that it doesn't matter if it's electronic, board game, like turning, I'm pretty sure turning stuff into games. What is it about it that draws you to it?
Oh boy. I mean, it's just the fun really that you get out of it, the excitement, the those tense moments, the feel of victory, or talking shit about a loss or something like that, meeting new people. I mean, there's so much that goes on with gaming that it's you know not not just video games but games in general. I mean, you could say golf is a game, and it's a sport, but it's a game at the end of the day. And I
Right.
mean, look at that. NBA, NFL, NHL, whatever have you, it's all just games, and those are multi-billion-dollar companies.
Do you prefer an easy game to play or do you like it challenging?
Usually challenging. uh Easy games, it depends. If it's easy and beautiful, like you can really soak in a game, like it's story rich, sure, I'm down. But challenging is always way more fun.
It's way more fun when you play a challenging game, right? Like, let's
Mhm.
hypothetically say, I don't know, an ARG. You know what I mean? Like, something like that would be interesting for you.
An augmented reality game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game, right?
Yeah, it kind of sounds familiar.
Right. I mean, like, if they were to provide you like some sort of home and you were to like read it, would that be challenging enough for you to kind of figure out how to play the game, or do you need it more challenging?
I mean, you could read the tome as much as you want, but if the game comes with so many layers and so
So if
much
it's too
depth.
challenging, it's no good.
No, 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 no. There's no challenge too big.
Okay.
If you're a real gamer, there's no challenge too big.
Fair enough. That's what I'm hearing, that you're a gamer. Like, I'm hearing you got friends you play with, you do group nights. I mean, it's basically your life. And I like
Mhm.
that. Now, outside of just gaming in general, what are some of the other things you like to do offline?
Well, for one, I'm a huge snowboarder.
Okay.
Snowboarding is probably, I'd say, I mean, next to gaming is my biggest passion.
What are some of the places that you've actually snowboarded that are like really cool places that you thought maybe you would never be able to snowboard, but you were able to get?
You know, I mean, it's gonna sound strange that I haven't been to too many places. It's just easier when, especially in the area that I live, there's a lot of mountains around me,
Okay.
and usually money wise and convenience wise, especially if you're trying to go with a friend or something, uh, it's just easier to go to the mountains nearby. But there's a lot of places that I really want to go, but that's something that you got to plan out in advance. You got to put money down, things like that. It's a trip.
What's the one place you really really want to go to?
It's called Schweitzer. I think it's northern Idaho.
Got some good powder out there?
Yeah, yeah, it's probably the best skiing in the nation.
Now, without being doxxed, what state do you live in?
Washington.
Washington. Okay, so you had a lot of mountains. That's nice. All right.
Mm,
Have you've lived in Washington your whole entire life?
yep.
And why
Same
have you
city
not?
and everything.
Why have you not traveled?
I mean, I've been places,
No, I mean
but
like travel, like move, like relocate, then maybe come back. And
I don't think it's really just been in the cards for me, and it's also never been a priority for me. I have family, friends, and support here, and I mean, eventually, yeah, I want to move out. I don't want to spend my entire life in one city, but uh, it just at the moment, it's not a priority to me.
walk me through your childhood. What was it like?
Oh, this is where we're going now, huh? Rough, very rough.
Uh huh.
Um, well, I mean, you just want to start from the beginning, like it
What
is
was it like? What was your childhood like before you got to high school?
before I got to high
Yeah,
school.
and we don't have to
I
go
mean,
into too much detail. Just want to get a grasp.
um, dysfunctional home. Parents divorced when I was 3, I think. I had heart surgery too when I was 2 years old. So yeah, it wasn't great. Parents broke up. Dad went to prison for destroying shit that we had, and mom got addicted to drugs. I was moving a lot. Um, Always like not having like a home. I'd bounce back and forth with my grandparents, and so they were kind of like the solid rock for me and kind of really pushed me to be the person I am today. But there was a lot of back and forth between, you know, shit with my mom and shit with my dad and a whole bunch of conflict. I mean, it was not ideal for a kid.
Okay. We'll come back to that in a moment. So we're gonna move into high school. What was high school like for you? Did you do things like sports or hang out with the wrong kids? Like, what was it like for you in high school?
So high school is kind of split down the middle. Best way to put it. So the first half is when I was with my best friend. We had a great time. I was still a good kid. You know, I, fuck it. I sucked at school. I hated school. Hated the idea of it. I was pretty much failing every year. Um, Not to say that I was bad at it, but I just didn't want to do it. But then it was junior year that I started to make friends with the wrong people, started stepping away from my original friend group, and that's when I started getting into like various drugs and drinking and partying and committing crimes and fucking, you know, wilding out.
Okay.
And by senior year, barely skimmed by to graduate. I mean, my senior year, I was doing 15 classes a day.
Hi. But you graduated, correct?
I did it.
Nice.
I pulled through.
Now, considering that you are almost 30, what were your
Mhm.
early 20s like?
Early 20s,
We'll say we'll cap it at 25.
just all partying. That was all it was just partying.
Considering where you're at right now, what was the turning point where you were like, I'm done partying. I need to get my shit together? You know, we all kind of go through that. What was that moment or the inspiration on why you turned it around?
Um, I wouldn't say it was a complete turnaround. It kind of happened with my last relationship, and uh, wasn't as much partying as it was like kind of solo partying, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, but really the factor was that everybody started to move away, or they had families, or there wasn't the time anymore to have these crazy ass parties where you know 15 people show up and we got bottles and we're all getting hammered. There just wasn't the time anymore or the need.
Because the reason why I even asked that is considering how we're conversating now and listening to these things that are going on that you can remember and the way we're conversating, your demeanor is a lot more of a mature standpoint, and the way that we're interacting with each other, it basically tells me someone has grown versus listening to these things that have happened and you don't reflect it right now. You know, like your composure comes off like, hey, I've been there, done it. These things have happened, and this is where I'm at now. So that's the reason why I wanted to ask about those things, because I can see it and hear it. Things have changed for you, and it sounds like for the better. Now, I want to know a little bit more about your grandparents. You say they were your rock. What is it about your grandparents that you appreciate, and what did they do for you, and what do they mean to you?
I mean, they mean everything to me. um, yeah, kind of when a lot of that stuff was going on when I was a kid, they would take me out of it, and they would, for one, financially support me to even live, and they would pull me out of the shit. They kind of raised me with the right manners and having respect and things like that. Not that my mom was garbage or anything, or wasn't there to be a parent to me, but there was a lot of gaps, and they filled those gaps.
All right. So now, earlier we were talking about how to look at the camera, right? We've learned that a little bit earlier about looking at the camera.
Yeah. So I
So
just stare
one
like
of
this,
our,
like
yeah,
like a
basic,
like a
yep, just like
maniac.
that. But there's been this nice little tradition we do in these interviews when we have pivotal points of interaction with people in our lives. I would like for you, from the bottom of your heart, relay a message to your grandparents, just in case if they ever see this, from the heart. Make sure you end it with "I love yous," because a lot of people, for some reason, don't like to end it with "I love yous." What they mean to you, like everything, something you would say to their face without you saying it to their face. You leave it here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. First off, I'll just say that I live with them, so
Of
it's
course.
it's not like they don't know, but and they'll never see this, probably unless I show them. But
Yeah,
which I might. It sounds
well,
like a
I
good
need you
idea.
to leave them a lovely little speech, bro.
Okay,
Give it to them.
okay,
I'll sit back. I'll
okay.
sit back. Give it to them.
All right, ma'ams and pops, from the bottom of my heart, I really want to say thank you so much. Uh, you shaped me into the person that I am today, and for that, there's no way I can express it in words how much I appreciate you and love you. but I will continue to do the best for myself because I know that's what you want at the end of the day. I love you.
And I love you too, Grandpa and Grandma, because
Hey,
he's such a
it's ma'ams
wonderful
and
young man.
pops, all right?
Look, hold off. They're not my elders. They're yours. You got, I'm just expressing the love too, because you're a good guy. They've basically, by just us sitting here at this moment, and as long as I've known you for a little bit, I think you're an outstanding person. And sometimes a lot of us need that. We need something. And to me, your grandparents are that something to for us to sit here, and you're not a, let's just call it for what it is. You're not a douche. You know what I mean? So they've
Yeah,
done
but
a
you
great
thought I
job.
was at first.
Well, you know how we originally met, but hey, something about what I was doing earned your respect for you to even sit here with me now. So I
Oh,
must have done
definitely.
something right to earn your respect, because I'm not going to tell people what you did. This is your interview. I'm just saying, from beginnings to here, we're here because I must have earned your respect. Is that fair
You
enough to say?
have 100%.
All right. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to know how we originally met and what he did, just ask the question below this video and I'll gladly tell you. Just in case. Just in case. Now, let's move on to something a little more, how do we say, fun. Who does it better, Marvel or DC?
Mm. In what sense? Are you
You tell
talking
me.
cinematics? Are we talking story writing?
You
Are
tell
we
me, who
talking
does it better,
production?
Marvel or DC? How about in general? How about in general, who does it better?
Okay. Oh God, you're gonna kill me with saying this. Marvel does it better, but I like DC more.
Okay, so what does Marvel do better than DC? And then I want to know, why do you love DC?
Marvel does it better. They got the money, they got the funding, they have the marketing campaign. I mean, just all of. I mean, how many Marvel movies have you seen in the last 10 years? Probably an ass load. How many DC movies? A few. You know, so that Marvel's got them beat by miles. DC though, I like DC a lot more because it feels more realistic. You know, even though it clearly isn't superheroes,
No,
but
you're absolutely 100% correct. Now, I've said this before during like a nerd debate. I've always said Marvel's superheroes, right, or the way they write their stories are more fantasy. And when you look at DC's writings as their stories of their superheroes are more humanized, if that makes more sense. They're less
100%.
fantasy. So you're absolutely correct. No, that's really good. Now, so considering earlier we were talking about your upbringing, and it was rough, right? You had made some choices in high school, and in your early 20s you were doing the most, and to your like you're in a, it seems a good spot now.
I'd say
During
yeah.
all this, in the DC world, what character would you say you relate to the most?
See, the thing is, it's like I'm not a huge comic guy, so I
Well,
don't
you
know
know
too much.
superheroes, supervillains.
Yeah, yeah,
So
super villains.
so think of the ones that you do know and pick which one would you say would be closest to you as in relation.
Hmm. It's difficult. That's really difficult. In just DC, you said?
Well, considering that you like DC over Marvel, I figured we go with a place that you like. If not, you tell me which comic book character would work. Whether it's any obscure comic book publication or Marvel or DC. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Right. No, see, I don't agree with that superhero. That seems a little odd. Now, why would you pick that character? Oh, the type. The color scheme? Interesting. Interesting. The color scheme, okay. Fantastic.
What?
Huh?
See,
No, I
this is
know.
the
I
shit.
no, no, you're perfectly fine. So, what's the last thing you remember that we talked about?
You said what character would I most likely relate to?
There you go. All right. And it could be any comic book character, doesn't matter.
I you know, and I only can base this off of a single movie, but I kind of liked his stance, but probably like Lex Luthor.
Okay. And what is it about Lex Luthor?
Well, he for one, he's very analytical, and uh, he kind of has like this morality of like I'm gonna do what's right no matter how much harm it causes because it's right to me and I need people to see it my way, you know.
Right.
And that you know, but the way he acts and the way he even though he's the bad guy, he's morally kind of understandable. You know, he's not just like, oh, kill everybody. You know, he's got a reason for everything that he does, and he full heartedly believes in it.
Okay. So, my next question to you is why does Batman suck?
Why does Batman suck?
Yep.
Uh, mm, I don't know. That is difficult. Why does Batman suck? I don't really think he sucks. I feel like that's kind of a bait question or maybe an opinionated question that you got, but
Nope. Not a
I,
bait question, not an opinionated question. Just want to know why does Batman suck?
I'm just gonna say he doesn't suck.
I understand. Fair enough. Fair enough. Give me your top 5 hip hop artists.
Top five hip hop is it like rap or anything.
Hip hop.
Top five. Uh, it's probably even best if I just
Nope. Can't use. Nope. Can't look it up. It's got to be off the top of your dome. Who are your favorite artists?
top of the okay. Currently,
Doesn't matter. Just give me your top 5 hip hop artists.
okay. Lil Wayne. This is in no order. I'm not gonna
Nope.
do order.
No, no, no. Just
Okay.
need to know 5.
Okay. Lil Wayne for sure. Eminem. Um, E40. ASAP. Probably ASAP Rocky. You know, if you want to be specific, ASAP as a group is good. And Earl Sweatshirt.
Those are all actually pretty good. I'm all right. I like that. Okay. What are you afraid of?
Okay, this is a heavy hitting question. The number one thing I'm afraid of is the day that my grandma dies.
Really?
That is, I've told everybody this my entire life. The day that she dies is something that I fear more than anything.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take grandma out of the equation. And I understand that loss is heavy. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
What about like a phobia for you? What scares you other than grandma?
Oh, like a phobia. Roller coasters.
You don't like roller coasters, huh?
No, I fucking hate them.
When I was little, I fell out of one, so I totally understand.
Yeah, when I was little, I went to Disneyland. I went on what was Silver Mountain? I think it's called Silver Mountain. It's the indoor one. And
Space
it's all
Mountain?
fucking Space Mountain. There you go. It's the indoor one. They're like, oh no, it's not a roller coaster. You'll be fine. Yeah, no, I was slipping out of it because I was always a little kid and fucking getting thrashed around, terrified. Ever since then, hate them.
Fair enough. Grossest thing you ever put in your mouth?
Uh, that I intentionally put in my mouth.
I would hope so. I would hate to hear about how just random stuff got put in your mouth.
I
But
mean, there's been something extremely gross that's came out of my mouth that was unintentional.
we're gonna go back to that in a second. But go ahead.
Uh,
What was the grossest thing you ever tasted? And you're like, oh, why? And then I want to know what came out of your mouth.
grossest thing I ever put in my mouth. Hmm. Hmm. You're gonna have to give me a second on this one.
Take your time. You got plenty of time.
Oh, probably like full on traditional sake.
Ah, you didn't like sake, huh?
Oh my god, I thought I was drinking battery acid, man.
That's fair. All right, I'll take that. Now, let's find out what came out of your mouth.
Yeah, so when I was probably, I think I was like 13 or something like that, I had a upper intestinal block. And you don't know that you have it because you don't have feelings in your intestines. Um, but the thing is, if you have that and you don't know and you keep eating, eventually that food's going to pile up. And once your stomach can't put that down anymore, it says, okay, well, we got to get it out. But
Right.
the thing is, everything that it gets out is from that block point up to your stomach. So it was literally vomiting shit.
Ah, I heard that every once in a blue moon, a human can actually do that.
Yeah,
So
just like the South Park.
you are the first human that I've ever met that's ever done that. I've known people.
vomited my
I've
own
heard of
shit.
it. I've heard of it. It's got to get out one way or the other, and they do say you can literally shit out of your mouth. So I totally get it. I totally get it. So now I know someone that's awesome. I mean, gross, but awesome.
Oh, tremendously gross.
Just like the South
Smell
Park episode.
just destroys. I mean,
Man,
yeah.
Kelly's a weird taste in my mouth at this point. What's your favorite color?
Favorite color is gray.
Worst color?
Worst color? Hmm. Probably like beige.
All right, beige. All right. What's the worst thing about you?
The worst thing about me? Nothing. I'm fucking perfect, man.
If you want to stand by it, all right, I'm with it. I'm with it.
No. Worst thing about me, I don't know, is probably committing to doing something,
Okay.
like
What?
taking the leap.
All right, so you just can't pull the trigger. Sometimes it's a little difficult, and you get a little
Yeah.
indecisive, and then you're like, "Could have done that."
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 20 years?
I don't.
What do you mean?
Look, I live every day of my life like I'm dying tomorrow. I don't look to the future at all.
Zero, not at all. Just nothing. You okay? So you just live it to the fullest every day, just in case something goes left. You can at least be happy with that.
Well, the biggest reason behind it is because, like I said, I had heart surgery.
Right?
And so ever since I was a little kid, I've always believed that I'm gonna die young. And it's cemented in my brain that I'm gonna die young.
Is that
And
a philosophy that you live by, or do you have something else you live by that motivates you?
I mean, kinda, yeah. I'd say it's kind of something that I live by. That you should really enjoy every moment. Should really appreciate everything.
How much money would it take to get you to become a brony?
A brony?
Yep.
Like fully committed, like to where like I'm buying like figurines, I'm downloading shit.
Oh yeah, I mean you're all in. You're in, and not the pedo way, not the creepy way. You're just a brony because it's brony time.
And
how much are we talking?
Well, like one of those people that publicly post about it too, right?
Yeah, they're like, oh, I love My Little Pony. That it's my thing. I grew like, you know what I mean? Without it being the there's also the negative side of bronies, but we're gonna keep it on the positive sides of bronies. Yeah, you're publicly out there. You're doing the conventions. You're fucking. You're motivated. You're helping people find the rainbow light. What are we talking? How much money to get you to be
for money though?
Yeah, you're gonna get paid to become a full on brony. Like, also, not everybody knows what a brony is, so I'm proud of you.
In today's market, I'd say probably at the lowest, at the very lowest, probably like 800 grand.
Not too bad. Well, are you in luck? Check the closet behind you. No, I'm just kidding. Somebody's a brony. What's the worst part about society as a person who's about to be 30?
The worst part about society is that we're pushing each other away. We don't want to connect anymore, and we're only looking at the differences anymore rather than our similarities. And there's also no trust anymore. There's no trust or respect anymore, and it's sad.
It is sad. All right. We're gonna play a game called Fix One, Give Up One. You're gonna fix one problem in the world, just one, but you gotta give up something in the world equally.
Of equal value. Okay.
Of equal value. What would it be?
Give me 1 second. Grabbing a brewski.
Yeah, grab a brewski in the middle of your interview. You would think that a man of his age would fucking be prepared and have his drinks all ready, but he wants to get up in the middle. He's living his shit. He's like, I'm living it like it's my last
interview, ain't it? You said it yourself.
Well, yeah, but don't you? Never mind. You're back. Great. All right. What do we got?
All right. Something I would give up.
Yep. But you get to change one thing on this planet, but you got to give up something of equal value to make sure that that thing that you want happens. So we usually say something like, we want to end world hunger, but we're going to get rid of every child on the planet that's 5 years old. Something of equal value.
Yeah.
Like you kind of see where it is.
Yeah.
So what do we got?
Oh boy. Oh. I've already got the thing that I want to get rid of, but I'm trying to think of something that I can put it, because I'm going to get rid of one of the 7 deadly sins.
Okay, what would be those 7 deadly sins?
Greed.
All right, so we're going to get rid of greed.
So what that's a big thing. That's a huge thing.
Okay.
So we got to get rid of something equally. So we're talking like a human quality. Well, I mean, a human quality of equal value probably would be like patience.
Okay.
Which is super shitty to say, but I feel like nobody really has patience anymore anyway. But if we just like wipe it clean out of everybody, I think that's a win. I think that's
fair enough. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Favorite flavor of ice cream? Strawberry cheesecake.
Now, is that the flavoring, or are we actually talking about stuff mixed in?
Oh, so we're doing base flavors.
Well, I'm just trying to understand what it is about that.
You gotta have cheesecake bits inside of, like vanilla and. Well, yeah, you need strawberry swirl, cheesecake bit.
Fair enough.
Vanilla. So,
when you were young, what was your childhood toy?
My toy? really just me.
So
I
you used to
do.
just play with yourself, and that would
Yeah,
just
I
be
mean,
it.
just
No,
constant.
not like that, you pig. Like, you
You
know what I
at?
mean? Like some kids go outside and they're loners and they kick rocks and shit. Some
Oh
kids stay in
no,
their room and play with their figures. You know what I
no.
mean?
Growing up, it was a lot of outside time. It was, I mean, fucking adventuring, creating shit, making up games, fucking climbing shit. I mean, just all over the place.
In your opinion, which tasted better growing up, the hose water or the sink water?
Hose water, 100%.
Absolutely. I definitely enjoy water. If you could bring something from your past to right now that you entertained yourself with, what would it be?
Oh god, I got the perfect answer. It'd be my Pokemon card collection.
Hey, nothing wrong with
I
that.
I am devastated at the fact that I got rid of that when I was like 16. I had all the first edition holographic shit. I didn't play with it. I was one of those neat freaks. Kept it in a binder, sleeved, fucking probably. I'd say in today's market, probably $200,000-300,000 worth of fucking Pokemon cards. It's just somewhere. I don't know where. I sold it at a yard sale.
Hey, it happens to the best. Perfectly fine. So if we're going to talk about Pokemon and we're going to say we're going to stick with Gen 1, best
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon, worst Pokemon.
Best Pokemon Gen 1. I was always a fan of what was it? Fuck. Is it Kabutops? The fucking Scyther looking the like dinosaur Pokemon basically. It was a
Right.
fossil Pokemon. That was my favorite. Worst Pokemon by far is gonna be it's gonna I'm gonna I know it's probably gonna piss some people off. Charizard.
And what makes Charizard,
I
in your
don't get
opinion?
the fucking hype about Charizard.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
That's not even the starter. You don't go Charmander as a starter.
We don't want a dragon as a starter.
No, we don't.
We don't
No,
want that. Fair enough.
we want the fucking turtle, bro.
We want the turtle. All right.
We go turtle.
What's the worst thing you hate about watching streamers? Like, what's cringe to you when you watch a streamer? Since you don't stream, I know you watch people.
I
What's like
watch a lot of
cringe?
streamers. Well, here's the thing. I watch uh and this isn't throwing shade in any means, low viewership streamers
Yeah.
because I like to interact. And you can't do that with somebody with like, 20,000 viewers. The chat's just so
Yeah, I enjoy like having low numbers because I get to you know how I do it. So I prefer that.
mhm.
And don't get me wrong, if it went up, that'd be cool, but once you're like up there, it gets difficult to try to run conversation. So I totally understand that. So when they're really popular, the cringes, the chat, you're not able to interact with them.
Well, I don't think it's so much anymore about like, you know, sorry, I gotta plug this in.
Oh, plug it in. It's fine.
Um,
Get all up
it's
in
not
there.
it's not so much anymore about. I think what everybody starts streaming about is like they want a community. They want people like friends, basically. Your followers are kind of your friends, the people you relate with them, you talk with them, you start a connection. But more for famous, and this is what I was saying about greed. The money starts coming in. You start to care less about the people that brought you there, and you start to care more about numbers. That's something that's super cringe. And then also with the low viewer streamer, that just like they like put themselves above you for some reason, even though you're like, hey man, what's going on? And they're like, oh fuck this guy or whatever. And I've seen that a lot.
All right. For a person who games and you've watched tons of streamers, in your opinion, what gaming group or community is the most toxic you've ever seen?
The game that I play, League of Legends.
Is it really that toxic?
100%. The only thing, I didn't play the game, but I watched my buddy play Final Fantasy 14 for the MMO for a long time. And he was like one of the best in the world. That community was also dog shit, but League of Legends is just it's a lost cause, man. It's
What makes it a lot? What makes it a lost cause, if you don't mind?
well, for one, currently everybody hates the company because of what they're doing. They're like I said, they're cash grabbing. They don't
Ah,
care about
okay.
they don't care about the community. They care about promoting the pro team, which gets people more eyes on their sponsorships and shit like that. And the community itself is like they praise themselves for being toxic. Like it's expected for you to be toxic.
Interesting. Now, because I understand earlier when we were talking, the reason why you even play the game because it keeps you connected. But if those
Mhm.
people weren't there, would you still play?
No, like I'll hop on the game if nobody's playing. I might play a game by myself. If not, I just wait.
What what type of message would you like to leave your friends? Let's say today was the last. What would you like to say to them?
If today was my last day,
Yep, you already know tomorrow you're not waking up, boss. Since you live it every day like your last and you live it to the fullest, those who still are around in your life, those that watch you, talk to you, play with you,
hmm
all these things that have been there, what would you like to get off your chest to them if they were to see this?
I just want to tell all of them thank you.
Don't tell me, tell them.
Okay, here I'll make it.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you to everybody that's been in my life. You don't understand how much I've appreciated you and how much you've actually done for me without actually doing anything. I want to be who I am today if it wasn't for any single one of you. And uh, I just hope that the memories of me live on with you in positive light and that you don't mourn too long because I want you to be able to move on.
Nice. Now that's very sweet. Also, ladies and gentlemen, he loves you as well. So I'm gonna throw that in for him.
Yeah.
Too late. You had your opportunity. I took care of it for you because I got your
Well,
back, bro. Got your
fuck
back.
them, I guess.
Fuck him, I guess.
Fuck them.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. All right.
Yeah, let's do so.
You're about to be 30, right? It's a
Yeah,
long time. You're gonna
not
go
really.
back to 10-year-old you.
Hmm.
What would you like to say to yourself?
Hmm. 10-year-old me.
Yep.
Where was I when I was 10?
Over there.
I gotta think. Hmm. Hmm. So I was in 5th grade. Oh, I don't know. I feel like at that point, at that time in my life, when I was 10, that was the good couple years. I had a couple good years, sprinkled in my childhood. 10, I think the biggest thing would be if I could tell my 10-year-old self is maybe try a little harder.
Try a little harder.
Mhm.
Outside of gaming in just in general, right? So we're gonna take gaming out of this.
Mhm.
What, in your opinion, do you like to do by yourself? Like, what's that quiet
No.
situation? For some, it's working out. Some read books. Some watch movies. Like, what is it that you like to do for self?
Well, I mean, if I'm by myself, a lot of times I just watch videos. If it's YouTube or Instagram Reels or anything like that, you know, it's either to have a laugh, to learn something, see something a different way. That's a big thing in me. It's just like constantly learning or I don't know, feeling different things.
Have you ever seen anime?
Oh yeah, a
What's
lot.
okay? What's the anime that got you started?
That got me started. Uh, I don't really know what
Don't
got
you
me.
look up nothing. You gotta come on, reach
I'm not. I'm
inside
not.
that.
I'm not looking up anything.
You're a liar. I can't see what you're doing.
You don't know what's going on down here. You don't know any of this shit. I got a whole fucking
Got a
setup
bro.
down here.
Yeah, you do.
Um, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like anime got me started. It was like cartoons and animation in general kind of got me towards that field. Probably the first anime, if you want to call it, would be like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Actually, it is. It's not even technically. It is absolutely.
I've heard so many arguments where people are like,
So the best way to end the argument for them, and I'll just give you this freebie, is that Avatar: The Last Airbender is anime, but it's American anime, and that's it.
yeah,
Drawing style, storytelling
mm-hmm.
has nothing to do with regular animation. That would come from America. So that's how you would win that
Right,
argument.
right.
Okay. What's the latest thing that you've watched in anime that you're digging? The most
Uh,
recent.
Most recent, well, I've been rewatching a lot of stuff, but most recent, newest anime I'd say was Fire Force.
Okay. Perfect. And the last question I'm going to have for you is what's your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure,
Yes.
probably this right here.
Just that can or just beer? Like, it's this can, bro.
It's literally just this one. I've had
Hey,
this for years now.
yeah, I believe it. Hey, you know what? If that's what you're into, and I can't argue with you.
No, no, no. I mean, it's been a problem at times, but drinking's always been something that is kind of my guilty pleasure.
Would you say, well, listening, I can probably just pay attention in what we're doing. You've pretty much kind of now just drink like an adult, not a young person, right? You're just grab a beer,
Yeah.
oh, we got some company, I'm gonna grab a beer, sip, chill, have me another one, like that sort of behavior.
No, I wouldn't say that, but it's not what it used to be.
Okay,
It's a more mature way of going about it. So
fair enough.
it's not
Well,
it's not getting fucking ludicrous all the time.
fair enough, fair enough. Favorite porno star? No, I'm just kidding.
I would say. I mean, for a while it was Morgue Pie, but she stopped doing that and she started doing OnlyFans only because she became a Twitch streamer.
All right, that's fair. We can end it on that. I appreciate that.
No, I thought it was gonna get way deeper. You know.
Well, it just depends on the way that you were delivering your answers, and the way you were delivering them sways the conversation.
What am I too professional? Is that what it is?
No, you're kind of guarded and you were being defensive, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if,
I'm not being defensive, as
well,
I say
no,
that
you're
defensively.
sorry, your tone and the way you were saying, when you go back and watch this, you'll see what I'm talking about. And if you want to do it again, we can go deeper. You just have to set it up again. If you go, oh, we could have gone deeper, but that's up to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I just didn't know what to expect. You know.
I wanted to get to know you.
Well, I think you got to know me a little bit.
Well, of course. But of course, Mr.
Just to weave it.
Creaminess. Yeah.
The creams.
No, I wanted to say thank you very much for at least allowing me to get to know you a little more. I appreciate that. That's a lot of trust. Again, thank you for sharing some things about you that I'm sure, maybe you don't discuss all the time, except for the people who know you. You know what I mean? It's like something you don't just tell the world. Sometimes we're reserved in who we are, as we're just guarded. And, it's definitely, I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I've lived a long time like that, where you just hold everything in, but all that does is destroy you, really. Because a lot of times you feel like it's only happening to you. It's only, it's your experience. Yeah, it's individual, but at the same time, you can relate to a lot of people that you didn't think you could relate to. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. That's kind of the connection that we're missing out on anymore.
Fair enough. I got one final question.
Yeah.
You're on death row and they're going to give you your very last meal. It gets better.
Uh-huh.
In this meal, you can have whatever you want and you can sit down with whoever you want, but you only get one person. Who would it be and what would it be?
Well, I mean, that's easy. I'd have barbecued brisket, smoked brisket. I'd have mac and cheese. Probably have green beans, like a peppered green beans. I drink a Sprite with it. Sprite's my favorite soda. And for dessert, I don't know if I'd do dessert. Probably just be that. And it'd be my grandma. If I could have ma'am sitting across the table with me and just kind of, having that last talk.
Fair enough. While in your brony suit.
Yeah, as I got the fucking jar sitting next to me that you know what it's for.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the end. Definitely more about this young gentleman, even though he said no. Still gonna put his Twitch link at the bottom of this video. So just in case if he ever decides to do it, I don't have to go back to this video and put up his name, and because I'm not going back. I'm just gonna do it one time now.
Couldn't quite.
Yeah, but no, I want to say thank you, Mr. Treatz, for everything. I'll be honest with you. I am glad that how we initially met, you decided to become one of us. I'm honored and proud to know.
Good to know you as well.
Fair enough. All right, you guys. We'll check you guys later. You guys have a good one. Bye.
Adios.